it's just hard out here. It's just hard, because it's just a support issue. Like, even if you could just, even if you don't have cash, at least take your children to a park or, things like that. Spend time with them. Because, like me, I can't say that I didn't have, like, I had my father and I had my stepfather. So it's just always good to have a father there.
Right.
She's 3 years old.
Okay.
I gotta start with her because she's getting out of hand right now. But that's it.
Did you want to share your name?
Huh?
Did you want to share your name?
Yeah, my name is Celine.
I'm D. Lance, single dad, spoken word poet, etc., etc. Definitely been a single dad for a few years. And me and my son been holding it down. Got a 5-year-old. Peace, Makai. I think it's the other way around. I'm attached to my son for all we've been through. His mother, I'm not going too much in that, but she's pretty much on her second childhood. Nothing to the black women out there. Single mothers, especially holding their children down. I'm one of the single dads holding mine down. There's a lot of us out there, know that. So we bringing them back. I'm bringing them back. So that's it, basically. I'm attached to my son and he attached to me.
A man, a grown man, mature, cause I'm in a transition. And this ain't pinning, and if I'm sinning, and if I'm condemning, then I'ma show my son something better, so he can be the man that'll be better than his dad, so he can have what I never had. And see, that might not always be financial, cause I ain't have a dad, so I'll give him something substantial in his mental frame, and tell him that it's more than financial gain. See, I gotta get this changed, but see, he gotta get it the same way as the kids that you was talking about in their innocent days, like 2 to 5, cause after 5, he's getting in the mood to survive, cause he's deprived of his innocence. Teachers telling him something different, history twisted, he can't even think his own thoughts, because they sitting him in the corner for saying, was Jesus black? Did Christopher Columbus get the queen of finance, discovering the land? Dang, I gotta keep him in his program, cause he gotta get his education, but I'm wanting something better than some premeditation, because I don't own food to think about putting him in homeschool. And that's a fool, cause he gotta socialize with the other little girls and dudes. Yeah, this is for you, and you.
My name is Joel Austin. I'm President and CEO of Daddy University. Daddy University was established in the year 2004, so we've been going strong since then. Daddy University is a company that is focused on 3 main goals. One, to educate and re-educate fathers on how great they are towards fatherhood and how necessary they are. Also to change some of the stereotypes around fatherhood, and to literally break all the barriers and change the world and the way we look at fatherhood as a whole. We run classes, workshops, and trainings pretty much all over the world, but we maintain a training facility, or we maintain a workshop group at the West Philadelphia 52nd Street YMCA through a grant from outside of the state.
Gotta get a lot off my chest today. See, I was stressed today and I was more stressed than yesterday. See, I'm in a phase where I don't know what I'm gonna do. See, I don't got luxury to bullshit. I need to see me some residuals. See, I used to be lyrical, but I ain't getting no dough to be lyrical. And now I'm a single dad, so I got to put some money in that grab bag and get the dough. That's the way it is, that's the way it was, and that's the way the biz. You ain't gonna front me shit, I need mine all in my bank account. See, I can go up on the point grid. See, I ain't a kid, I'm a grown man. Matter of fact, I'm 36 in the midst, and been doing this and arrested resist. So now I'm back to say this. I don't even know why I'm here, but only the I knows why I'm here. My higher consciousness gravitated me here. See, it's like burning these calories on the microphone in this black art gallery with these beautiful scenes so serene, and something's just attacking me in this gravity that gravitates me back to my son. But once I'm done, I'll know that it was all for all and not all for none, and if not for my son. So yeah.
Daddy University was formed in 2004. Roughly around that time, my youngest son was growing up. I call it the year of my arrogance. I really thought I knew everything, and I didn't. The more he grew, the more I knew how much I did not know, and the more I found out how much I wasn't even given, a lot of information I wasn't given. So eventually I started looking around because I wanted to be the best father I could be. I also wanted to be better than my father, and I want my children to be a better father than I am. So I started looking for information, and I found out there wasn't a lot of information for males, for fathering, for parenting for males. It was horrible. I started to ask some of my closest friends about it, and some of the things that were happening in my life with my son, my first son, and I found out my friends didn't know either. So we ended up kind of talking, and then we went from talking to, we started meeting up and really talking about this parenting thing on what you do and what did I do, and that ended up in sort of like a focus group, and that ended up in sort of like a whole group. And the next thing you know, I had a business card, and then I started going online, getting more information, passing it out to them. And lo and behold, you never know where your gift is or where you're going to end up at. So next thing you know, there's a website, next thing you know, there's a company, next thing you know, I'm on a flight to California to talk about how important this role is. And the biggest thing I found out was through conversations with a lot of the males that I knew, no matter what their background was, no matter what their creed or race, is that they really didn't know. They really didn't have a strong background or a strong knowledge of parenting. I know for a fact that mothers are not better parents than fathers. I know for a fact that they don't nurture better, but they're just more comfortable at it. When I say nurturing, a lot of young girls have given a baby. It's not even alive, but at least they changed the diaper and had some experience in it. Whereas the first time we get something that fragile, we're roughly like 18, 19, 20. We've been playing with steel trucks for the longest, and we're really, really standoffish with what we don't know. So Daddy University comes in and say, listen, I've done it, he's done it, we've done it, and you can do it as well. Be comfortable with it. Fatherhood is the only job in the world that you can never ever lose the title of. You could never ever become an ex-father. You either are or you aren't. It is the most important job, and it's one of the toughest in the world. My mother used to call me joy and pain. So the thing that make you laugh is the same thing that make you cry. But you need to be more prepared. And I found through my experiences that fathers were raising children on what we call OJT, which is on-the-job training. And that's really not a good thing to have a life in your hand and you're just winging it. So training came in place. We talk to people who've already done it, and we keep talking to other people who've already done it, and then now you can train more. So from that, I started moving around the country doing workshops at schools and things like that about the importance of fatherhood, because statistics say, and the statistics show us that without the fathers, more people in prison, more males in prison do not have a positive role model as a father, do not have a positive relationship. More girls are more apt to sexual abuse if their father's not around. Because the father's not around, there's more poverty in the family. Because the father's not around, there's more social abuse and social use of drugs and so forth. Because fathers not around, there's an increase in teen pregnancy. These things have hit home, and now schools know it, businesses know it, and we found out that if you literally kind of break down the family, it can be positive for certain people to benefit from that, like the criminal justice system, and it can be very, very negative for the community. So you have to be careful. We have to hold on to our families. We have to hold on to marriage, and we have to talk about it. And we have to be better to our children. It's the best job in the world.
When she came around, I guess it wasn't really a place I wanted to be. But you know, I guess I always wanted to be a father, just in the right situation, and it wasn't the right situation. So you know, I ended up sacrificing a lot. At the time when I became a father, I was very bitter and resentful. You know, I used to cry all the time when I used to see her because I felt like I wasn't a good dad. But she's been like a great daughter and just a great person to be around. And changed that real quickly, and I just don't know where I would be without her right now. She's definitely made me a better person. Yes, I'm okay, baby. She's definitely made me a better person. And I'm learning a lot just being her dad, you know, from just learning from her. And, just kind of letting things go and, you know, moving on and making what's best for the future. Pretty much it.
Some of my experience has brought me to some things, and one thing it brought me to, by going to different fatherhood conferences around this country, I found that there was one thing missing, and that is there was no fathers there. A lot of these fatherhood conferences charge $200, $300, $400, and you know, have a lot of big names and so forth. So I had an idea, an epiphany, as my professor at Cheney would say, an idea, an epiphany, that why don't we have the conference just for the dads that are on the street, dads that are in it every day, and from a grassroots point of view. And not only just talk about being a dad, but actually from a holistic point of view. I am the president of the company, but I'm also a client. That's not like that. I do have 4 children, and I know what it's like sometimes not to know anything, and what it's nice to learn something new. So we invented the Philadelphia Fatherhood Festival. The first year we had about 120 guys. We sat around the table, me and some friends, and we planned it out. We had it at a hotel, we had some food, we invited pretty much every single male center in Philadelphia. We invited the DHS, we invited every single program or city officials to come out. And what we found was the males were hungry for information. So we split it up between different topics. And the topics that we go over are parenting, and we have classes underneath of that. Healthy relationships, and we have classes underneath that. We have finance and money management, we have classes for that. Then we have health and health and wellness. And then we had communications, education, and then we definitely had parental rights, your legal rights as a father in court. And these classes were really what surrounded you to be either the best father in the world, or it could put you down to a negative father. Because sometimes it was the financial piece that made you not want to either call or be around or something like that. Sometimes it was the court piece that made you feel inferior. So you take care of the holistic part of it. And we referred you to people. You had phone numbers when you left. You had references when you left. You had referrals when you left. You knew where these programs were when you left. You could handle your business, and you could become even greater than you were before. And we always talk about finance and things like that. I never have enough money. But what I always say to my fathers in my workshops, the park has been free for me. It's been free for your father. It's been free for your father's father's father. So you can always go there, and so never let anything, not money and anything material, ever keep you from your child. There's no child in this world that appreciates a mother more than a father. There's no child that appreciates the father more than a mother. In the child's eyes, they appreciate each. They are held by each, and they are half of each. So they have a connection with both. And it's going to be your job to be able to say that your child will remember you forever. Your child will remember you forever from you establishing some childhood memories. If you stay out of that life, your memories will fade. If you stay into that life, your memories will grow. And that child is a part of you, no matter what anyone else says. You have to stay on board. So there may not be a lot of men that feel this way. There may be a lot of women that seem to hate against this. There may be a lot of social issues that push this away. But never let anybody into your house and tell you how it should be run. One thing that we constantly talk about in our Fathers Club is some of the three biggest topics that are affecting fathers today. And the first one is co-parenting, bringing families together and parenting in two different households. The second one is child support, and the third one is child custody. And we strongly believe that there should be more child support and child custody reform. Things have changed. When it was first introduced to us in the 1800s, it was the women's, it's called the Women's and Children's Orphanage Fund. Don't quote me on that. So it was set up during the time of World War I and World War II. There were a lot of families, of course, that were left out in the cold because at the same time, a lot of females still didn't have property rights. So they wanted to make sure that the children were taken care of and the mothers were taken care of. At least they own their property and own that so the children would go on. Also, because a lot of males were going to war and famine and things like that, it was built around the male most of the time the male not being alive. So there was a fund to make sure when the father passed and was not there, that it could be taken care of. The problem with this now is that our laws have not changed that much. If you look at them closely, it's really built on the male not being involved and not being around still. So the more sometimes a male is around and more sometimes a male is involved, some of the laws still stay the same. For example, if you are in support court, you may have to pay a certain amount to make sure that both houses have the same income level. But when you go to custody court kind of says who will have the child most of the time. You can have a little bit more custody than your friends and still paying the same amount of support because it's still kind of based that even if you are there, you may not be there. So we need to put some things in secure. Our issue is that in support court where you have to pay money, if you go in as a male, you are responsible, you are a king, you are someone who works well, you can pay a bill, you can earn an income, you are strong, you are a leader, because they put these guidelines onto you saying that this must be here every type of the month in this account. You can do it, and we believe in you in support court that you can make this family strong. That's support court. Once you go into custody court, you are a fool, you are an idiot, you can't do anything right, we can't trust you to even comb this child's hair, you are a buffoon, and you don't have enough education to even care for this child the way this mother can. These places are across the street from each other. So you can walk across the street and you can go from being a king to being a buffoon in the same courthouse in America. Other issues that we have is that it is really tearing apart the fabric of the family. The more it tears it apart, the more time a male child doesn't spend with a father, the more time a female child doesn't spend with a father because of these issues. The more detrimental it is to the psychology of each of those children. You will find children these days don't really have a push, don't really have a lot of purpose. And fathers are purpose driven. Everything out of our mouths has to have a purpose. Everything out of our mouths has to have a reason. We are discipline driven and we are structure driven. We provide discipline and structure some way, somehow. It might be through a saying, it might be through a switch, it might be through a hug, but somehow we're always there to say you can do it and you can do better. And I find males these days, I find young males these days losing their purpose.
yeah, like fatherhood, it's a beautiful thing, you know, like to be a father. One of the most rewarding parts of it is just watching your son grow, mature, watching my son grow, mature, and, you know, just giving him that tough love. But I think like a lot of y'all young men in the communities now, they need that tough love. They need somebody that's more disciplined. And our culture had, you know, a generation of young men growing up with no discipline. You know, and that leads to mass incarceration, you know, ignorance, you know, a lack of responsibility from a male perspective. So, you know, my father was everything I enjoy every moment of it. You know, like sometimes, you know, I get frustrated with my son, but I love him. I know that comes with love. That comes with love, frustration. But, you know, I got a well-mannered young man. Got a lot of manners. You know, like the world, he listening and obedient. I mean, you know, his attention span is very short, but that's typical for a child, but I love him. I love him to death. Fatherhood is everything.
Yeah, I'm, you know, nervous, but fatherhood. I guess fatherhood to me is that transition between being a young man and accepting responsibility for someone other than yourself. I don't really know what to say about it because it was something that I never really knew too much about, not having a dad growing up. But my son, he's 10 years old now, and I worry about him constantly. He has a good home. He's split between his mother and I. But not having that mother and father dynamic kind of worries me. You know, I don't know whether he's going to I don't know which way he's going to go. People think about kids being a little bit too white or too black. It's something that I think about constantly because he's being raised out in the suburbs for the most part, except for, you know, the 3.5 days he's with me on the weekends. But those days aren't really spent, you know, out and about in the city. It's always doing some type of community service or just doing activities to keep him involved and keep his mind going. He doesn't really talk that much to me. I noticed that he talks a lot more to his mother. I guess he feels a little bit more comfortable with her. But when he does talk to me, it's always something a little bit profound, and it kind of makes me wonder where he got this stuff from. I always talk to him about paying attention. The other day, a friend of mine called me and asked for some help, and had her on speakerphone, and she was a little perturbed because her door to her house wouldn't close. And the way she communicated this to me was a little bit hyper and rude. And for the first time, I noticed my son noticed how somebody's inflection in their voice kind of made them sound, I guess, rude. And he asked me, he said, "She never sounds like that before, Dad. Why does she seem so mean today?" I didn't really have an answer. I just assumed that she was just having a bad day. But then I went over to help her out, and I got out the car, and I looked at her, and she had a blank expression. And he looked at her, and he looked at me perplexed. And so I helped her out. I fixed her door. I walked back to the car, and when, you know, I got back in, he said, "Dad, why did she become very talkative once, you fixed her door? But when we walked up, she wouldn't talk. Why was she really nice to you then? And at that moment, I noticed that my son actually does pay attention to some of the things that I say. And it was kind of a nice thing. I guess I'll talk about stereotypes of the black man bothers me, especially when I talk to women. And they're always talking about how men are, I guess, non-existent. But every day I walk around, before I had a car, my son and I used to ride the bus. And I used to always see fathers with their children and stuff like that. So I kind of always want to defend those different social taboos. I don't know. I never really knew what it would be like to be a father. A father is just... I still don't think I know. Wow. That's a really, deep question. What is fatherhood? I guess fatherhood is the same thing as love, like caring about somebody more than you care about yourself, wanting the best for them. Let's talk about school. I am a social worker, and I work in the Philadelphia public schools. Now I'm born in Harrisburg, raised in Greensboro, North Carolina. When I came here, it was more of a social cultural shock to see the way that these young men and young women interact with their peers, let alone the adults that are in their lives. I work in Mount Airy, and I believe Mount Airy has the highest rate of foster children. So, trying to talk to these kids about the different things that they like and they don't like, you just find out how lost they are. And without that guidance of, let's say, a father in their lives, I think it shows. They don't communicate effectively. The girls don't really interact with boys appropriately. The boys treat women like objects. Or either they treat them just like they treat their male friends, but they like them at the same time. Man, I'm going blank, and I just don't know where to go or what to say. Fatherhood. I don't know. I never thought I'd be a father without being married. That's something that I find to be kind of weird and different, even though I had my son at 25, which is now considered, I guess, an old man. I don't know, he made me grow up. Not that I wasn't that mature, but he made me really, really grow up and start thinking about the things that I did before, I actually did them. Wow, Zaire. I guess I'll just tell you the best part about fatherhood. My son recently started playing basketball and football and those different types of sports, and I'm somewhat of an athlete. I played college ball. I played sports all my life, and just watching him do some of the things that I did, but doing them even better, kind of makes me just wonder how his life's going to turn out. I'm always trying to make him read books. I'm always trying to keep him on the basketball court. I'm always trying to do something with him to keep his mind active, his body active. And I just don't know. I don't know. I guess I'm afraid as well. I wonder how my son's going to turn out. This world is kind of strange and unfamiliar to me, let alone to this little 10-year-old boy that, expects me to keep him safe, expects his mom to, look out for him and just care for him and show him the way. And sometimes I don't feel like I have the right direction because I can't understand what he's going through. Like I said, I work in a middle school, and some of the kids in this middle school are going through things that I just went through 10 years ago, 10 years ago, at 12, 13, 14 years old. So I kind of like wonder what it's going to be like for my son, you know, at 10 years old. You know, I wonder if he's going to be one of our future, you know, doctors or lawyers or social activists or something that's going to be, you know, positive for society. Wow, fatherhood. I don't know, man. It's different. It's difficult. But I've always wanted, you know, a child, and I got lucky and had a son, which kind of like made it even better because I can relate a little bit to the boy, to the man that he can possibly become. I just want him to be better than me, because I think that's what it's all about, taking it a couple levels better than your parents, or higher than your parents. Oh, man. Fatherhood. I don't know, you know, camera's not for me. That's not my thing. I guess I just want to just make sure he's safe. Make sure that he has, like, all the weapons to protect himself when he gets older, especially, you know, mentally. You know, the physical part, to me, is a given because I feel like I'm an athlete and he's going to be an athlete. But I guess I want him to be, you know, armed with everything necessary. But I don't know how to give it to him without forcing some of the stuff on him. And you kind of worry if he's going to have that balance, or if he's going to accept what you give him, or if he's just going to shut down and kind of like walk away from whatever you give him. Man, this is like the mysteries of iniquity or something. I don't know. Like fatherhood. It's a strong. It's deep. Because you always think about mothers and what they do and what they bring. But as a father, man, as a black man in general, you know, finding our place in this world is kind of difficult because it seems like it's almost non-existent. It's like as soon as you find something and you put your hands around it, it goes right through your fingers, and then you have to try to find something else and something else, and you have to keep reinventing yourself over and over. And at this day and time, like raising a son and giving him all the tools to kind of understand that he's going to have to constantly reinvent himself is difficult. Because at times I get frustrated. At times I want to give up. At times I want to just say, let his mom deal with it. But I don't know. I just need to be, I don't know, just be a better man and just help him in any way I can. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I'm at a loss for words. Like while we were just having conversation, it was just flowing through my mind, flowing. But you know, that's kind of weird that, you know, growing up without a father, I just couldn't leave my son to do anything, even when it was just to make money for maybe a year. I couldn't leave him. It would have helped him out, would have helped me out, would have helped us all out. I'd probably be married right now. But, you know, I just really didn't want him to go through what I went through. You know, not knowing, not having, not experiencing what it's like to have a man hug you and being okay in his masculinity. Yeah, I also worry about that. Not to say that, you know, anything's bad with whoever your child's going to be, but I just want my child to be a man, a trustworthy man, a strong man, an intelligent man. I don't know, there's so many things that you worry about with just raising a child. I don't even think it's really even about fatherhood. It's just about raising a good person. Wow, to just ramble. It's one thing that I don't do. I've never really liked to ramble. When I speak, I like to speak and really have something to say. You know, I'd rather sit back and watch. And it's funny, 'cause that's something that my son doesn't do. When something comes up, he's like, hey, and he'll talk about it. Except for when he's with me. When he's with me, he sits, he watches, he listens. But like I said, until the other day, I never knew that he was actually listening until he paid attention to one of my conversations with someone else and actually came back to me and pointed out that he saw somebody, he heard someone's mannerisms. And I mean, I think that's one of the best moments of my life right there. When he let me know that he was listening by telling me what was going on with somebody else.
This is a piece entitled Son's Day. Wishing there was an extra day between Saturday and Sunday, so my son's day does not set. Wept for 7 days just to have 2 days of normalcy, 2 days of being the man I'm created to be, so I don't have to parent through a phone, no drop calls, mistaken for drop balls. My son shines my direction, thinking I've dropped this call of, Daddy, come get me. And now I have to tell him Friday when the day becomes like blue outside. 122-mile rides 4 times a month to be Superman, except all I don is hope's worn-torn cape from court battles where layups and fadeaways fade away, where days end can't fade away. 26 days of no sunshine except through fiber optics. The judicial system is the only one who profits from 4 days a month being spent to watch my son rise and sunset, to support his life financially, but devalue manly truth so he learns not to leave his mother, earth, sunburned for her wild weather. Her Katrina-like emotions demolished his home, breaching levees that allowed for tears to come rushing out, flooding our worlds. Misfit Earth Day for Mother Earth's unpredictable weather forecast had me believing that the seasons had to become bipolar. No direction of north or south, just tornado leftovers of remains of home strewn over 2 states, waiting for the calm to come before the storm, waiting for my son shine to burn storm clouds away, so that day between Saturday and Sunday is bright like his smile, which is the reflection of the Almighty. Might he be forgiving of the earth for separation from father to son, so he knows that distance cannot be kryptonite, for a father's love surpasses where day crashes into night, making a motley colored reality, and in his sleep he feels my arms wrapped around him saying, Daddy loves you. Wishing there was an extra day between Saturday and Sunday, so my son's day does not set. So he does not fear when he closes his eyes that Daddy won't be there, wishing there was an extra day between Saturday and Sunday, so my son's day does not set. So my son's day does not set. So he does not fear when he closes his eyes that Daddy won't be there, wishing there was an extra day between Saturday and Sunday, so my son's day does not set.
Philadelphia Fatherhood Festival this year, this is going to be our 6th annual festival. It's going to be June 18, 2011, and it's always at the Pennsylvania Convention Center. The conference is 100% free. The conference gives breakfast for free, we have lunch for free, and we even have free childcare. It is unbelievable. There's only vendors there that can offer you information that can help you and your family and your community. Nobody's selling butter and t-shirts, but only information that the father needs, and then workshops are free as well. We also have an awards program called My Father, My Hero, where the child can write in about their dad, and the dad can win a certificate at the end of the event. It's really a feel-good situation. We gain on popularity, but our problem is we still don't have as much people at the conference as there are in family court. So we're trying to beat out family court. Once we gain more people than family court, we know that we're actually doing our job and we're actually winning.